When talking about building a bigger neck, one of the most common questions I receive is whether or not it's actually necessary to do direct work for it. Because many times people are going to reference me, strongman, powerlifters, etc., who have thick necks, yet they don't actually train it. And they'll use that as an example, and it's going to be their conclusion that they too do not require direct neck work. Now, unfortunately, when I hear these types of remarks, I have to facepalm because it's ignoring the very fundamentals of statistics. And I'm not talking about advanced statistics here. I'm talking about high school level shit, high school level math, even basic a college course that you would take for statistics. Because let me tell you something. Whenever you're trying to look at data, widespread data, you never want to use the outlier to represent it. In fact, in many cases, you just remove the outlier. You just scoop them out. So when people are trying to mention, for example, Pete Rubish, saying that Pete Rubish has a very thick neck, yet he doesn't do any direct work for it, it's neglecting basic statistics. Here's what I'm talking about. Number one, Pete Rubish has excellent genetics. You have to be a fool to say otherwise. So no matter what he does, his neck and traps are going to get bigger. And he also has a deadlift that 99% of you guys will never reach. And then secondly, he's on large amounts of drugs, a self-admitted steroid user. And if you know anything about steroids, and this is primarily the reason why I developed Natural Enhance, the androgen receptor sensitivity increases, particularly in the yoked region. That's why a lot of roid users, they're not the strongest, but they all have 3D delts, meaty upper chest, traps, and neck. Because you don't have to train these areas when you're on the juice. So here's what we got. We got Pete Rubish, right? Top 1% genetics of the world and great genetics. And then the result is a 19-inch neck. And you want to use that as an example to prove that you don't require neck training? Come on, bro. I think that's a really bad example right there. How about we look at average Joes, average recreational lifters who have no sports history, who don't have amazing genetics, and who aren't going to reach a 900-pound deadlift. Basically, the max is going to be around 500 to 600. Do you think that neck training is a bad idea? In my opinion, no. I think neck training is a very good option. And let me give you some examples, right? If you basically go on the Natural Enhance sales page, the third guy, Matkohe, I don't know how to say his name because he's from Serbia. He developed a 19-inch neck through direct work. Now, this is the same size as Pete Rubish's neck, right? Yet this individual can only deadlift 4 or 5 for high reps. And I'm talking like stiff-legged deadlift here. So he's still a strong guy, but he's not pulling 900 pounds. He's not on drugs. He's just doing a lot of direct neck work, and the result is 19 inches. So when people say, well, Pete has 19-inch neck, dude, it's very impressive. Yeah, he looks fucking awesome. He looks yoked. But there's natural guys who are getting those numbers. There's high school wrestlers. And if some of you are in high school right now, senior level, you know people who have 19-inch necks. Yet they're not deadlifting all kinds of weight. And if we look at the elite levels of football, rugby, MMA, etc., a 19-inch neck is like not uncommon whatsoever. You see guys with 20, 21, 22-inch necks. Easily. So I'm tired of these examples of referencing the best of the best. Don't reference the best of the best, especially when they're on the gear. Let's look at some natural guys, which there's so few of them, so it's hard to generate examples here, but let's look at naturals who do direct neck work, who benefit from results. I'll give you another example. Myself, I used to have a 14.5-inch pencil neck. You can look at my old videos for evidence. I had a really, people would click out because they would see my baby face, right? I had no facial hair, whatever. They would see a baby face and a little small neck. Even though I was jacked down here, the neck took away from the physique. So, of course, I got strong at deadlifts and shrugs, etc. That took my neck to around 16 inches, but it didn't bring it up any higher than that. So when I started doing direct neck work, I looked at MMA fighters, field athletes, wrestlers, etc. I took it to 18.5 inches. Today it's 18.5 inches, flexed, of course, so I just do a little chin flex like that. And when it's pumped, it goes up to 19, all right? That's what I'm talking about. Direct neck training works. And when you use it in combination with heavy compound movements, it can only do you good. So that's all I'm trying to say. You have two options here, right? Option number one, you have very good genetics and you get on drugs, which allows you to get a 19-inch neck. Or two, you have average genetics, but you decide to train your neck directly and you do a combination of deadlifts and shrugs and it gets bigger that way. Either way, it's win-win. But in the second situation, you don't have to be the best of the best. And like I said, there's millions of people out there. There's millions who are reaching these numbers. Like, it's not even that uncommon. Like, you know how 18-inch arms is very difficult to acquire? Well, a 19-inch neck, an 18-inch neck is not hard to acquire. Gains come like this. You can take a 16-inch neck to 18 inches in around 3 months. It's just direct work. It blows up super duper fast. So you might as well fucking hit it directly. So that's all I really want to talk about. Share with me your experiences down below. Did you start training your neck and then it just started getting bigger in size? You started doing your weighted neck extensions, neck curls, neck sideways, etc. What types of gains have you acquired by training your neck instead of just doing, deadlifts and shrugs, relying on that? I want to see the gains down below. I want to see first-hand proof, not just some theory bullshit that is spewing out a lot of people's mouths, because it's the same argument that people use for forearms. Oh, just do the rows and your forearm's gonna get bigger. Come on, we're talking about average Joes here. So if you're an average Joe, give me some feedback. And with that, I'll talk to you next time.